Judas right now are about to find out if they are taking a step towards that one slot at the World Finals or if they're going home, Stoic.
Oh boy, this is exciting, and we've got Monkey with the first pick here. Pre-bans are going to get locked in right here. I'm very curious what these guys are going to be pre-banning. What are they afraid of what each other's going to be drafting? Because clearly, both of them want to lock down an Oliver. Both of them probably want to lock down a Masha, but pre-bans locked in. Ragdoll and Light Monkey King are going to be the pre-bans.
Oh, that explains a lot, doesn't it, Stoic? Monkey God. There it is. That's the missing component. The Monkey King was in the arsenal, and Judas seemed to know it. There goes Oliver on the first pick from Monkey.
Yeah, so with that Oliver first pick and a pre-ban on Ragdoll, I am expecting to see a AoE draft coming out of Monkey King. AoE control, might be seeing some Water Ryu more with Chung Pung play coming out of Monkey. But right away, Judas going down with the, this is interesting, with the Vanessa and the Raccoon. This is a little reminiscence of Dreams Joseph, as we saw in the America's Cup.
Very true, actually. Yeah, this is very Joseph-esque, as it were. It's kind of like a spoof on the Holy Trinity that we were talking about, now deprived of an Oliver, taking the Vanessa instead. There's the Shizuka, the Praha from Monkey God. Here comes Miles and Meiho Wang. And Judas still has a last pick here. What would you ideally want to see from Monkey God?
That's very interesting that Judas would actually lay down that Fire Monkey King after seeing 2 water units from Monkey God. But it does make sense that Monkey God's going to lean on to Tsarn. Never mind, he's going to lean on full Oblivion to wrap up Monkey God's drafter, which is a little interesting. Are we going to see an AoE cleanse? Because that just might be the ban if Judas tries to lay down like an Annabelle, or I don't know if he has. Yeah, I feel like he does have a Nikki. He may not have a Nikki. That kind of acts as a cleanse there as well. I think the Riley probably does get banned here because that is like one of the only haltering things going up against Monkey God's draft.
Yeah, I think that was a really good call because what I would have loved to see in that last slot was an Annabelle. So I think the Riley is a nice sort of middle ground. She's going to be sustaining throughout. You don't have to heavily rely on getting that skill 2 back in the form of Annabelle. Like that, you called it, Stoic. The ban is on Riley. And of course, one of the 2 Oblivions is out the door as well.
Yeah, let's see what happens. 33 speed lead for both these players, guys, but we're kicking things off, guys, in this open qualifier with Judas and Monkey God. Let's get into this thing with Miles kicking things off right here.
Yeah, taking full advantage of the speed lead from Vanessa here. Who's he going to go for? He tries to get a stun and just a beefy hit on Tsarion. Unfortunately, not a lot is really going on here. Manages not to land it, and let's see if Meiho Wang can get a clutch defense break into a proc. This could be death for Tsarion early.
That's a lot of damage going to Tsarion. Obviously, Judas is trying to get rid of the Oblivion on the other side of the field. I think Tsarion definitely is that unit to get rid of. I do think Judas may be in trouble, because once we see that Oblivion hit the field, that thing is now active, because now you got to look out for it on the Shizuka. And Shizuka is going to be laying that across the field, and we are looking at not 5 passives anymore, because this isn't a passive, it's a skill. But 3 other passives on the other side of the field of Judas.
That gets me all the time, is whether or not that thing is a passive or a skill. Changes every few years. There we go. So getting some nice hits in on the Meiho Wang. And we know that the Vanessa is currently reset, but that is not going to last for long considering she only has 2 turns. In fact, she might already have it back.
Yep. Yeah, I know. That's so crazy. It really is. I do think Judas still needs to keep firing away on top of this Tsarn and move that from the field.
Nice.
But now that he's down a big unit and that Fire Monkey King being gone right now, Judas definitely up against the wall, and that's kind of where things really turn there. Because if Judas was able to get rid of Tsarion early, he would have been fine. I think Judas totally wins that first match, but no, man. He got really close, though. He really did.
He did. Monkey God has definitely gotten some control over this game right now. Got a little bit, if I had to nitpick, got kind of an unfortunate proc there with Praha and procced out of the buffs, but everybody's so controlled. Doesn't even matter right now. He's taking his time. He's mostly just looking for threats. He's looking for attack bar that he can suck up with that Oliver so he can cycle back through. Raccoon is the next to go down. The Rat is dead, and so is the Dream.
Yep, that's right. I mean, there's that match. Number 1 going right to Monkey God. Congrats on him for taking that first match from Judas. So that was really unfortunate for Judas not able to take out that Tsarion, because I think if Tsarion was dropped, I do believe the favor would go towards Judas throughout the rest of that match, but that's not what happened here. So great job for Monkey God holding out here.
It's that humility there, Stoic. That, he said himself, I'm a dark horse. It's like, I could just sneak up on you and kind of take out that win, and it looks like maybe that's what he's got in mind.
Yep, that's exactly kind of what happened right there. But let's see what happens. I think Juice, we're going to get a change of pace here. Usually that's kind of what happens. So I'm expecting a safer draft coming out of Judas. I think we're going to see a little bit more sustain, a little bit more cleanse coming into this one, because all he had was that early Raccoon pick, and I don't think there's anything wrong with an early Raccoon pick. We've seen a lot of people take a lot of victories here with early Raccoon picks, but Riley was dropped in way, and I think I would like to see a cleanser there in that second draft before we got to that last pick, because that last pick, Judas should have known immediately that whatever he drafted, a cleanse, and he needed a cleanse, that was going to be banned out.
Exactly, and just one at the end, obviously, like you said, is not enough to make up for the whole draft with no way to remove any Oblivions, any defense breaks. We called out an Annabelle during that draft, and I think something akin to that would have been great coupled with the Riley, just so that way you don't have your back up against the wall with 2 Oblivion units staring you down.
Yeah, 100%. And the Oblivion was going to get through no matter what, because if you draft 2 units with Oblivion, you have a Shizuka, well, technically you have 3 Oblivion units, and that's what happened there. Pre-bans! Locked in for round number 2, guys. We've got Oliver getting banned out here, and Jameyer, which is quite interesting. I believe that's Judas doing his homework on Monkey God here, pre-banning out a Jameyer.
Yeah, it's a bit of a call-out ban there. It's saying that I've done my homework and I've seen the way you shift. I've seen what you like to have in your arsenal. And looking at Monkey here, like Monkey kind of seems like he's kind of in the tank right now. Seeing the Jameer gone, he's kind of thinking about what he's got, what Judas thinks he's going to do. Brings the Laura right away for a super fast strip.
Yeah, Laura's a great first pick from Judas here. I'd love to see what Monkey God's going to be responding with. This is interesting. You can definitely tell. I love that we have these live cams. You could see the reaction and the emotions of these players. He really is. He's thinking about it right now. And just slams down Gianna Ragdoll.
And what a great answer that is, too. You see the fast AoE, multi-hits. Ragdoll is just the perfect answer to that. Maybe Monkey God was kind of weighing the fast. It's like, do I want to outspeed? Do I not? Judas brings the Mi Ying there, Stoic.
Yeah, I think Mi Ying's strong. We've seen a lot of this unit. Spires drafted a lot of the Mi Ying back in America's Cup here. I think Mi Ying's a great unit. It teams up very, very well with Raccoon as well. I like this, but I think the... You know what? Suddenly I'm seeing a Hearn. I don't know how I feel about it. I think it's okay. I think it's fine. He's got his 24 speed lead. He's got Hearn. He's going to spread those debuffs, bombs, Oblivion with that Tomo.
Right, and here's the difference, Stoic, between this game and the last one already. We're not so deep in the draft that Judas can't bring a second cleanse and opt to bring a third one in Julien.
Yeah, I feel like we're calling out the ban on Oblivion right now. That Hearn's definitely not making it through. Judas banned it last time. He didn't want to see the Hearn go through. And Hearn currently only the Oblivion unit on the field right now. I think Monkey God actually goes and just drafts that Tessari, potentially bringing out the Oblivion once again. But Win Robo's... I feel like Win Robo's never bad.
Never bad. Never bad. I'd like to see what Monkey God's thinking here. What he ends up locking down is the ban. I really like the pick from Julien, though it does kind of signal I need to ban out the Oblivion, and it does go that way. Judas ends up locking out the Hearn, and then Raccoon's gone, so at least he doesn't get the auto cleanse.
Oh, 100% that Hearn was going to be banned out there. And Raccoon's going to get the knife as well. Interesting. I mean, everybody's afraid of that horrifying 3-star unit, but we've got a 24 speed lead for Monkey God looking to take turn 1 here. I believe this is a swift Gianna and not a violent one, but Win Robo looking to get the full strip and nails it.
That's a bad sign for Judas right now. Are we getting the full 4 right now? And the res from the unit that's going to cleanse itself anyway. Couldn't see that being any better for Monkey God.
Exactly. It lined up perfectly for him. Bombs landing right on top of that Laura as well. Opting to go with more bombs and spreading those debuffs out there with the Tomoe.
Yeah, now Karma can come out on a problem unit. I wouldn't mind seeing this going out on, say, like, the Riley, so that way if it procs, you can't use the third skill. Aims to just go on the Laura instead.
Yeah, that's totally fine, you know, putting all that aggression right down on Laura. Laura's been a super toxic unit, but I'm definitely expecting these bombs to potentially kill that Laura. And man, oh, Judas is so up against the wall right now. This is very, very tough for him to get out of this hole.
Oh yeah, I don't see a super clean way to get out of this for Judas just yet, though we will get to see some cool damage from the Julien. He could go for some damage on the Julien if he wanted to siphon some health from somebody else. Aims to just put another bomb on the Riley first. Let's see where he puts this damage from Gianna.
Well, Julianne's got something to say here. He really needs to at least land the stun with the second skill to try to get anything going right now, because I do believe we're going to be seeing 2 units getting dropped here. Nice little revenge coming out of that Dak Panda. Does land the defense break onto that Robo, though.
Oh, and the dots are a killer here on that Mi Ying right now, Stoic, because Mi Ying has that built-in damage reduction, so it's a little bit harder to take him down than the average Panda Bear.
It is, but I'll tell you what, if that Panda does see a bomb, it's going to be over for that unit. Oh, Riley's going to be gone here. Judas definitely needs to try and transition his style of draft right now, because right now I feel like he's just seeing himself as like I like to call it myself, is built to receive. He's hoping that his units will get through the storm and be able to react off of that after, but that bomb's definitely going to be finishing off that Dak Panda.
And look at Judas right now, Stoic. He is wondering where he went wrong, how he can change in this next game, because he is going to go down right here. Monkeygxclas got him 2-0 currently. We are in a best-of-5 state right now, so Judas can still get something on the board, but it has to be now. There is no loser's bracket tonight. We're just going winner's bracket only, so if he doesn't get his point right now, Stoic, that's it.
Yep, this is also a great showing for Monkeygxclas as well, so he's handling Judas very, very well. I like the drafts that he's been bringing to the table, slamming down the LDs immediately with the Gianna and the Ragdoll. Very, very strong units here. Definitely, I think if Judas has something planned, if he has any tricks up his sleeve, like now's the time to bring those to the table. Sneaky things like snipes, one-shots, it could be Daphnis, could be some Fire Cassandra action out there, because those are really, really surprising units that you can bring to the table. I do like the Julianne, but Julianne was not able to come in there and thrive. I feel like there was way too much control that Monkeygxclas brought to the table. He wasn't able to get a Dak Panda online there, so we'll see what happens as we get into this match number 3.
Exactly. And also, just to add to what you're saying, I completely agree. Julianne's a really cool unit, especially because he cleanses himself now at the start of his turn, but I don't see it as being a great answer for that Oblivion that was on board, because if he's Oblivion, that's going to stop. What you really need is something that's going to cleanse on a hard skill with a cooldown, just so that way you can get rid of everything. We keep saying Annabelle. It can be anything with an AoE cleanse. I think that would have been better. Now, before we get into this pick ban, because that's where we're going, I think that Jameer also was a little bit of an odd pre-ban. I'd like to see Judas kind of amend that in this last game.
Yeah, for sure. I'll see what happens as we get into this one, because maybe it was an overread for Judas pre-banning out that Jameer, or maybe the Gianna kind of deserved it there, because it was a big stopper there for Judas. Gianna was a bit of a problem, I'd say.
Yeah, here are the pre-bans, Stoic. So Oliver and Ragdoll. I think these are really appropriate pre-bans because these are both high-value units, high synergy units, and also now we can... there we go. Monkeygxclas really likes playing control, opts to bring the Shizuka right away.
Now, and I think the Shizuka is going to be great. It's going to help him spread those Oblivions that I feel like he's already planning to bring there. Judas may just have to avoid bringing some of these passive units in there, because I think he just might be playing a little too passive. And I think Pra is a good address here. I think Pra is one of those excellent units that are not a passive unit that you don't have to worry about, an Oblivion unit. So another, yeah, I think this is the way to go. I do like the double Oracle coming from Judas. A great change of pace for him.
Can't go wrong with the double Oracle, and it also doesn't bait out an easy Tessarion Hearn like before. Monkeygxclas thinking about how he wants to respond here, and Judas visibly looking stressed on camera right now. Again, this is his last potential opportunity to put a point on board. If Judas loses this one, then Monkey moves forward. Monkey ends up picking a very steady, reliable, more Chung Punk.
That is definitely reliable indeed. I would expect this to work pretty well. We've seen this. We know what this does here. I do like the draft of Monkeygxclas. But so what Moore and Chungpong are also doing is it's enabling something that Judas is used to playing with, which is a Riley. So the Riley, to no surprise, is going to be hitting the field. And then a Masha, because I do think Monkeygxclas' current draft at the moment, these 3 units, something that you would normally see on the ladder here. So I do think Judas might be a little bit more in his wheelhouse right now, bringing out Riley and a Masha.
Yeah, I love the response of the Riley. She's going to be building up the totems in the background to pseudo-punish those AoEs, and it's a good response to Chung Pung, too. I'm not as big of a fan of Masha currently, only because Monkey God can just bring a bunch of water into this. I felt like the Masha might have been an overreaction to the Chung Pung and might have failed to see that it didn't really action well against the Shizuka and the Moor.
Definitely. As much as I like Amasha, seeing what was already on the field, that Masha's definitely in a rough place right now, and I do think Judas is probably banning out that Bulwark to stop, halting his Riley here, and I do think Monkey God is probably reading into this draft a little bit. I do think the Julienne is a good pick right now. I like the draft with Judas. I do also like the draft with Monkey God, but that Bulwark definitely says that he's letting that Riley through.
Yeah, I think he wants the Riley in, leaves everything else. Now, here's the thing, Stoic, is that Gianna in play means Shizuka's got bombs.
Yeah, I know, it's like a double-edged sword there, bringing bombs to the table, and then Shizuka's able to utilize that stuff. This is another reason why I just think Shizuka's one of the best units in this game, but let's go see how it works out for him, because we got Miles kicking things off for Monkey God. Monkey God looking to shut it down right here. Judas looking to stay alive. Beautiful Despair Stun on top of that Masha.
Oh yeah, the Moor getting the stun that the Miles failed to grab at the start of the game, and we have another one on the Riley too. Probably not gonna rip the third skill just yet, opts to save it. Definitely the right choice right now. What? No stuns?
No, that is no stuns, Evan. Correct. That is rough.
I didn't know that.
That is not what Judas needed to see. You know,
I didn't even know that was a possibility.
Gianna?
Gianna? Yeah, that Gianna is, there's something wrong with that. You gotta take that Gianna into the shop. Something's malfunctioning right now. Takes out the Praha effortlessly right now, Stoic.
Yeah, that's rough right there. Oh, and that is a violent Gianna as well for Judas, but I don't know how many violent procs Judas needs to keep himself alive in here, because he is definitely afraid to put those bombs onto the field, because all the strips right now are on the side of Monkey God, because if he places that bomb, Judas is going to be seeing those bombs very shortly.
Yeah, this is looking pretty bad for Judas right now. We've had revelations now that Gianna's damage was so high that she pierced the little shields. That's what happened. So that's why we didn't see any stuns come out. There were no buffs at the time. Masha dismounted Judas. Yeah, I saw him reach for the bottom, and he takes it. Oh, man, and gives the thumbs up. Such great sportsmanship from these players right now. Congratulations to Monkey for taking down a proclaimed front runner.
Yep, that is a huge win for Monkey. Big congrats to that, man. It is so sad to see Judas go like that in a 3-0. But what I will say, it bodes well for the time I get to go to bed tonight.
It does, Stoic. You know what? Bless you, man. It's already pushing 1 a.m. for you, right? It's like 1:30 for you.
I'll
great.
be all right. It'll be a great tournament, guys. So kicking things off with the 3-0, it's very, very exciting. Monkey God, he did incredibly great in his drafting. I feel like he read his opponent very, very well, where I think Judas did struggle with what to read when it came to Monkey God. So, and this kind of resulted there with that Jamayo pre-ban. I feel like that might have been an over-read for Judas, and I think he maybe needed to play into something about that very first match there, because I feel like Monkey God got to do everything that he wanted to do, everything that he wanted to bring just came true in his matches here up against Judas.
I 100% agree. I think the overreaction from that one, that pre-ban, while it wasn't necessarily what doomed the whole thing, it was definitely foreshadowing for what was to come. It was just that Judas couldn't quite adjust to what Monkey God was bringing, and unfortunately it was kind of the undoing. Here we go. We got to see Monkey God do exactly what he wanted to do. Control, spread bombs, lock down everything. And one thing that I really liked about Monkey God's playstyle is that the way he played made it so he was only ever dealing with one unit at a time. Everybody else was totally controlled.
Yeah, it really was. It was just well drafted by Monkey God. I feel like this was just the result of someone who, honestly, he did his homework, man. It's almost like he was stream sniping Judas and just knew every step of the way, and he just felt very, very comfortable here. So as for someone who's a dark horse, doesn't really look like a dark horse in my opinion. The guy looks like he's done his homework and is super prepared for this tournament. So I give a lot of credit to Monkey God right now, because it was flawlessly drafted for him.
Super flawless. Yeah, Monkey now looking